Over the past few months, BYD has made a series of very interesting strategic moves in order to put themselves in position to take a massive slice of the global electric vehicle market. Here is how they're doing it, and here are the recent contracts they've signed and why those contracts actually mean much more than people realize. Hello, my friends. Welcome to the Electric Viking. My name is Sam Evans. I'm coming to you from Melbourne, Australia. Welcome to all you new subscribers. Welcome back, everyone else. Great to have you. Make sure if you are new to the channel that you check out some of the more than 1,000 videos we've made over the past 12 months. In particular, there are some videos on the channel talking about BYD and how I predict they will become the second largest automaker, period, in the world by 2030. Now remember, they plan on hitting 3.5 million electric vehicle sales per year in 2025. And based on their current sales trajectory, that looks extremely likely. What have BYD done? Well, first of all, who are BYD? If you're new to this channel, here's a quick overview. BYD is the EV subsidiary of Chinese multinational BYD company. They were founded in 1995 by Wang Shanfu with headquarters in Shenzhen in China, and also they have headquarters in Los Angeles. BYD began as a rechargeable battery business in the IT sector before branching into handset electronics and then vehicles, including electric vehicles. The company is now moving into other businesses, including renewable energy power plants, LEDs, urban rail transit systems, and selling battery packs to other manufacturers. In the span of a decade, BYD became the largest Chinese battery manufacturer, capturing half the world's mobile phone battery market. That's right, they have more than half the world's mobile battery market. Its EVs unit was born in 2002 from an acquisition of Tinshan Automobile, then the sixth largest car manufacturer in China by sales volume. Aside from its own EVs, BYD also supplies other EV manufacturers, including state-owned FAW Group. And I'm going to talk about why that is very important to their future prospects in just a second. Warren Buffett's Berkshire Hathaway owns 8% of BYD and has done so since 2008, 14 years ago. They've, by the way, made billions of dollars from that transaction. In April 2020, BYD and Toyota announced a joint partnership in a new company, BYD Toyota EV Technology. And only a few months ago, BYD also announced that they will build Toyota's next electric Corolla. By the way, it looks nothing like a Corolla. It looks pretty spectacular, in fact. I made a video about that vehicle. I'll put a link in the description below to that video. You should check it out because it will be possibly the coolest looking Toyota vehicle ever made. That's my opinion anyway. Check that video out and let me know what you think. In addition to BYD manufacturing Toyota's vehicles, they also provide them with their battery pack, which is called the Blade battery, the LFP battery. Lithium iron phosphate batteries don't use nickel, they don't use cobalt, they don't use manganese. They don't use any expensive rare earth metals. Therefore, they are about 50% of the cost of the batteries used by, well, basically every Western car company. Very few Western car companies use LFP batteries. In China, they're everywhere. LFP is the most popular battery by far now in China. However, in the West, it's not. Currently, Tesla is the only mainstream auto manufacturer outside of China using LFP batteries outside of China. So here's a quick summary for you. Who are the car companies that BYD will provide batteries to over the next 2 years? Well, the first, Tesla. Yes, BYD will provide batteries to Tesla this year for their standard range models, both the Model Y and the Model 3. In addition, like I just mentioned, Toyota. Then we have Ford. Currently, Ford provides the batteries for Ford's Mustang Mach-E, which is built in China. They also will provide batteries to 4 other Chinese car companies. And by the way, this is bigger than you realize because the world's second most popular EV, the Wuling Hongwan Mini EV, which sold 400,000 units of a single model last year and is jointly manufactured by General Motors, SAIC, and Wuling in China, is another contract BYD have just picked up. They'll be providing batteries for that vehicle and for SAIC's vehicles. In addition to that, BYD also provide batteries for Chang'an, one of the largest electric vehicle manufacturers in the world, which is owned by the state vehicle company FAW. However, within the last 24 hours, BYD have also announced a new contract. Here are the details of that new contract. BYD has signed contracts with NIO and Xiaomi. And apparently these contracts were signed before the second week of February. NIO and Xiaomi will use BYD's Blade battery packs in their vehicles this year, apparently, giving them a lower cost option, basically an entry-level model to enter the market in China. And also remember, NIO is planning on selling all of these vehicles in Europe as well. Earlier in February, an image circulated on social media showed NIO founder, chairman and CEO William Li accompanying BYD chairman Wang Shanfu on a tour of NIO's Hefei plant. Regarding when this partnership between the two sides will be unveiled, an industry source close to NIO said the form of cooperation is novel and people can wait and see. In other words, we haven't seen an official declaration that this partnership with NIO is complete. However, NIO and BYD have acknowledged that something has been signed. In addition, Xiaomi Auto signed a partnership agreement with BYD within the last week. Xiaomi's new electric car is planned in two configurations. The lower priced model will use a 400-volt BYD Blade battery platform, and the higher trim model will use an 800-volt platform, potentially using either CATL batteries or BYD batteries. We're not sure yet. Now, apparently CATL is a little bit offended by this because they are the primary battery supplier to NIO. They don't want to lose market share. They don't want BYD to take their market share. Understandable. BYD are trying to grow their battery business, and as you can see, they are massively growing it this year. By the way, CATL are by far the world's largest battery manufacturer. BYD is currently in a battle with Panasonic for fourth place in the world. However, when you consider these contracts that BYD have signed, I mean, look, they've just signed really within the last year. Chang'an, General Motors, SAIC, Wuling, Tesla, Ford, Toyota, NIO, and Xiaomi. That's 9 different car manufacturers. How are BYD going to supply all these batteries? That's a good question. Glad you asked it. Well, BYD last year were able to build a number of new battery factories. They now have 7 of them. This year, they have begun building, at the beginning of this year, a new battery gigafactory, which will produce 100 gigawatt hours of batteries per year. This could make it the largest battery factory on the face of planet Earth. And what it will mean is, by the end of the year, when that battery facility is finished, that BYD will have massive capacity to not only scale up their production in-house of their own electric cars, which, by the way, is going absolutely bonkers. They will more than likely be the second largest electric car manufacturer in the world this year. In addition to that, they'll be able to supply all these new car companies with their Blade battery, which, by the way, has received incredible reviews. I'll put a link in the description below to the video I made about the BYD Blade battery and why it is so damn good, especially for what it costs. It's amazing for what it costs. I've been telling people they should buy BYD stock now for a long time. Right now is a really good opportunity to buy it cheaper than what it was recently. BYD stock price closed at $81 on November the 23rd in 2021. It's now down to $57. And really, that's not for any good reason. The company has only improved its manufacturing ability, increased the number of contracts it's signed, and ramped up its production facilities. For example, their new electric vehicle manufacturing plant, not battery plant, but manufacturing plant, will open within 3 months. And apparently that plant might be capable of producing up to 1 million vehicles per year when it's ramped up fully. In addition, it looks as though BYD will likely deliver around 1.7 million electric vehicles this year. That is a pretty good reason to be optimistic about the stock price. And personally, you don't want to think when you buy this stock, right, am I going to sell this in a week or a month? That's just gambling. The idea is you buy a company like this, you hold for 10 years, BYD becomes the second largest, probably the second largest battery manufacturer, the second largest car manufacturer. That's my prediction. By 2030, the stock price as a result goes up as more Westerners hear about the brand, as BYD begins to sell their vehicles. I've already made a pre-order for a BYD car. I'll put a link in the description below to that process where I pre-ordered that vehicle, which is coming here to Australia in July. I know a number of you guys have ordered BYD vehicles as well. They're already on sale in some countries in Europe. They'll be on sale in a lot more countries in Europe and in Central and South America, in India, in the Philippines. They're expanding at a very, very fast rate. And it's really just a great opportunity to get on board with another car company and potentially diversify. If you just got Tesla stock, if you're just holding one stock, it's a way of like basically hedging against that position. And so that's what I personally have done. Let's discuss a little bit about BYD and Tesla working together. Tesla has entered into a partnership agreement with BYD to buy their Blade batteries for their vehicles this year. Apparently, this contract is for 10 gigawatt hours per year of lithium iron phosphate batteries. Now, as I mentioned earlier, these batteries use LFP cell chemistry, and they actually look like a blade. They're much thinner than other battery packs. This means better packaging in the car, more space in the interior of the car. That's one of the innovations of the battery cell, but so is the fact that they are incredibly safe. As far as we know, there haven't been any battery fires using lithium iron phosphate blade batteries from BYD. Some of you have sent me videos saying, hey, look, I told you there's a fire with a BYD car. Well, those fires have only been with lithium ternary battery packs, not BYD's blade battery packs using LFP chemistry, which, by the way, make up about 95% of all batteries produced by BYD. Here's one of the things that BYD actually did to prove that their batteries are extremely safe. They said while undergoing nail penetration tests, the blade battery emitted neither smoke nor fire after being penetrated, and its surface temperature only reached 30 to 60 degrees Celsius. Under the same conditions, a ternary lithium battery, ternary batteries are the batteries used by most of the world outside of China, exceeded 500 degrees Celsius and violently burned. And while a conventional lithium iron phosphate block battery did not openly emit flames or smoke, its surface temperature reached dangerous temperatures of 200 to 400 Celsius. This implies that EVs equipped with the blade battery are far less susceptible to catching fire, even when severely damaged. They also drove over it with a truck, which didn't even seem to affect it. So this feature is amazing for safety advantages. They also deliver thermal management improvements over previous BYD batteries. And BYD claims that the form factor enables energy density improvements by eliminating the need for modules. Also decreases the weight. One of the reasons it decreases weight is because the batteries go from cell to pack, which is similar to Tesla's structural battery pack technology. This actually provides us with another question. The question is, could other automakers, in addition to these 9 auto companies, use BYD blade batteries? BYD was asked about this recently. They said, today, many vehicle brands are in discussions with us about partnerships based on the technology of the blade battery. But they didn't disclose which other brands those could be. Some people believe that BYD could actually be the largest car manufacturer on the face of planet Earth by 2030. In fact, quite a few people in comment sections on different websites who have very good knowledge of the Chinese automaker believe that this is a foregone conclusion. I'm not so sure. I think Tesla might, but Tesla and BYD will certainly compete to be the 2 largest automakers over the next decade. If you combine that fact with the reality that BYD may eventually become one of the 3 largest battery manufacturers in the world, it was the largest battery manufacturer in the world for a little while there, then that would suggest that this car company has a long way to go in its growth prospects. In addition to that, who is dependent on who here? Are these car companies dependent on BYD, or is BYD dependent on them? Personally, I think with the reality we're looking at, the fact that BYD is massively ramping up their electric vehicle sales and have incredible expertise in that area, it's very possible that in future at some point BYD will just say, hey Toyota, hey Ford, hey whoever, Tesla, whoever else, we don't need you anymore. By the way, we're using all those batteries in our own cars. I think these manufacturers are dependent on BYD and not the other way around. Thanks for watching the video, and I'll see you again on the next one. Bye-bye.